Yo, what's up, everybody? Noah here, and today we're gonna be talking about U.S. politicians just simply cannot stop blaming video games. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, recently in USA, specifically Texas, a mass shooting took place. A crazy bastard just decided to go into a elementary school and just killed 19 children and 2 teachers. God knows why, because he was fucked in the head, probably. All I gotta say is, I hope he rots in the deepest part of hell. And to the poor innocent kids and teachers who died, may God rest their soul. May God forgive them for their sins. And I don't know what to say about the parents. I hope somehow, some way they recover from this. But we all know that losing your child is probably the worst thing that can happen to you as a parent, meaning that they will never recover from this. It's a sad tragedy. But U.S. politicians, they love these tragedies. You want to know why? Because they can always blame something or somebody else besides themselves and their crappy policies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, let's just say that there is this politician, Ted Cruz. Well, it's not just him; it's a bunch of fucking all over media who said the same thing. But we're gonna take him as the main example. This motherfucker, Ted Cruz, comes out and says, that the shooter was playing violent video games, which desensitized him and caused him to do what he did in that elementary school in Texas. Now, before we get to the facts and common sense, let me tell you from experience that, actually, let me tell you my story. Look, I'm a really simple motherfucker. When I was a little kid, I was playing some of the most violent and most gruesome video games there was out there on the PlayStation 2. You wanna know what was my favorite fucking video game in the PlayStation 2? Manhunt and Manhunt 2. Manhunt 2 was my favorite. Manhunt 2, in case you don't know, and yes, that was a voice crack. Manhunt 2, in case you don't know, it's a game where you just go around and you slaughter other people because some crazy maniac wants to have a film and you record your executions. Great game. I loved it. I played it every single day. I even played the uncensored version because, wouldn't you know it, that game has been censored to death. So I downloaded the uncensored version back then when I was a little kid. Actually, it wasn't even me. It was a cousin who downloaded it for me, but that doesn't matter. I was playing one of the most violent and most gruesome video games of the PlayStation 2. A game where you go around, slit people's throats, chop off their fucking balls, hands, legs, whatever, kill them with all kinds of fucking ways and all kinds of fucking objects, and you have so many fucking executions, and they were so realistic, you would think that somebody was really being tortured when they were recording these. And guess what? I was like 7, 8 years old playing that shit. Playing a game where you slit people's throats. You wanna know what happened? Nothing. I never took a knife and went to my school and tried to slit someone's throat. I never grabbed a gun and, tried to kill innocent people because I played too much Grand Theft Auto. And I never, drove a car into some random fucking person because I played too much fucking Need for Speed or Grand Theft Auto again. It's like, my point is that if you're a sane human being and you know the difference between right and wrong, fiction and reality, and you also know the consequences of doing fucked up shit, you can play any fucking game. When I was 7 years old, actually, let me tell you this. Before my parents even bought me violent video games, of course they were overprotective. They were like, well, we don't want our kids to be affected by these video games. And I said to my mom, just buy me this game and I'll show you that nothing's gonna happen. So she goes out there, buys me Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I play the game and she just comes by one day and just asks me a bunch of questions. I still remember it. She asked me, "Oh, how's the game that the game that you really wanted?" I'm like, "Oh, it's fun. I really like it." And she sees what I'm doing, and I had the rhino tank just killing cops, causing chaos. And she's like, "Oh, you having fun now?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm having fun." And she asked me, "Would you ever do that in real life?" And I'm like, "Mom, it's a video game. Why would I do that in real life? I would get in trouble, number one. Number two, I'd probably be dead because they would kill me by that point. And number three, why would I cause harm to other people that I don't even know? It's a video game. It's just like movies. It's there to entertain you, not to make you the next, crazy motherfucker to grab a tank and kill innocent people and a bunch of police officers for no reason." Since then, my mom never fucking wondered if buying violent video games for me is a question. She just knows that no matter what, I can tell the difference between fiction and reality, which is what most people on this planet can tell. The difference between fiction and reality, right and wrong. So, like I said, violent video games are not the problem. The problem is crazy motherfuckers who are mentally unstable, mentally insane, being out there in the wild and somehow have the right to vote. These motherfuckers should be the ones to be locked up in a mental asylum somewhere in the middle of fucking nowhere, Tennessee. But for some reason, nobody's talking about mental illness and the mentally ill motherfuckers who walk freely into the society. They talk about video games instead. We don't talk about those shitty policies where, they can catch a criminal 10, 20, 30, 50, 40 fucking times and still let him go because some states in United States have really garbage policies, questionable when it comes to their fucking logic. But no, those are not also part of the problem. It's not the shitty policies that these U.S. politicians are making. No, 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 no. It's violent video games. And I mentioned it before, but how are violent video games a problem, but not violent movies, violent books, comic books, newspapers, or whatever else that includes violence and talks about war, death, shootings, all this and that? Why is it only video games that get blamed? I mean, why don't you blame, for example, the movies? The movie Saw is a great example. That game is literally a bunch of fucking people trying to survive from a maniac who puts them into a bunch of fucking games which most people end up getting killed. Isn't that causing people to go violent? Oh no, because it's a movie. Okay, so if it's a movie that promotes violence and it doesn't cause people to go violent, how does video games, who are the same fucking thing with the exception that you play the game and not just sit there and watch, cause people to go violent? Because we don't know, shut up. Violent video games are the problem. You see, there is no logic here, and there's no, how do I say it? Like, there's nobody who asks these motherfuckers questions. It's like, oh yeah, it's always violent video games. We gotta do something. We gotta regulate. Okay, so are you gonna regulate movies? Are you gonna regulate comic books? You gotta regulate everything that includes violence? And if you, like I said, if you think about it for a little bit, you can tell that most people who do these crimes are criminals who don't give a fuck about laws and motherfuckers who are mentally unstable and don't know the difference between right and wrong. Sane human beings, they don't grab their, law-abiding Americans who have common sense, they don't grab their AK-47s and AR-15s and their 12-gauge shotguns and just go randomly killing people. It's always the crazy mentally ill motherfuckers or, white supremacists, black supremacists, extremists from both sides who do this shit. Basically, the crazy motherfuckers. But no, they're not the problem. Violent video games somehow are. I'm sick and tired of this shit, bro. I am sick and tired of these fucking politicians blaming video games nonstop. How about you blame your shitty policies and the fact that you don't do anything about the mentally unstable motherfuckers on this goddamn fucking earth? How about you do that? Oh wait, in order for you to do that, that means that you gotta put your asses to the chair and work. Something that these politicians never do. Anyway, that's all I had to say about this video. Don't believe these politicians for 1 second. These politicians are full of shit. They're always there to promote their narrative or push some sort of fucking agenda. They don't care about facts. Oh, and I forgot to mention that you can literally Google studies about violent video games causing people to become violent. And guess what? Most fucking studies that you will find are studies that say exactly the same fucking thing. That they cannot find fucking proof that violent video games are the source of people turning violent. There is no proof. Violent video games don't cause violence, and there's plenty of fucking studies, decade-old studies that, tested people who play violent video games, and they found no correlation, no fucking link of violent video games causing people to become violent. But those studies, I guess, don't exist to these politicians. These politicians always talk about facts and truth, this and that. But when it comes to stuff that don't fit their narrative, all of a sudden they're like, oh, studies that prove that violent video games don't cause violence? I've never heard of that. Probably fake news. CNN. Fuck these politicians, bro. Don't trust any politicians in any mainstream media. They're all full of shit, and they're all there to push an agenda. Um, what else? I wanted to say something else, but I can't remember. But anyway, that's the whole fucking video. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep it peaceful out there, and for the love of God, stop using your fucking feelings and start using your head. Peace. So the one thing that I wanted to say, but I couldn't remember, is that if there's one thing that turns people violent when it comes to video games, is fucking lag. Hands down, we can all agree that lag is one of the things that will turn even the most calmest person angry and make them rage. As you guys will see in a little bit, my connection is gonna suck dick for a little bit. There you go. Look at the top left of the screen. Look at my connection bars all the way to 1. And because of this bullshit, look at this. Boom. I got fucked in the ass. 800 damage because of the fucking shitty internet. Fuck that. But even this lag is not gonna turn you. It's not gonna somehow turn you to a monster and make you grab an AK-47 and kill innocent people. So yeah, thanks for watching, and have a great day.